Keep them hashtags, you know I see ya. Talk about you the best, people never heard of ya. It's all about the punchlines, you know they clever. Never.
All right. Okay, so welcome everybody, all the Misfits and everything. We are back and we just watched Smackdown Live.
What's up, Misfits? It's Long Island Josh. I'm here with Red yet again for another wrestling review recap.
How do you feel about the show coming off of Elimination Chamber?
I liked it. A very good follow-up show. You can definitely tell that they're trying to put better shows now because it's the hype for WrestleMania season. So this is actually a pretty interesting episode overall. Show starts with a quick video recap of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and that just brings us to Bray coming to the ring. So he's opening the show as the new champion, and crowd was very excited to see him.
They were very excited, and then you know what? I like the whole Bray Wyatt character. I always have, and
I've also liked him, but the thing is, when he gets in the ring and he starts doing one of his rambling Sister Abigail promos, this one had more focus because it was all about how she had always told him that this day was going to happen. But he's been around for like 3 years, and I feel like this should have happened sooner. But I'm not complaining because it was still a good opening segment.
yeah. Well, then that's when you have the opening with Cena coming out and with his whole thing of, we talked about this during the show and about the whole "you deserve it" chance and the whole "earn it" thing. I feel like it's not saying that when people say he deserves it, it's not saying you got it, they gave it to you, good, cool, great, wonderful. But no, he does deserve it because he made the character himself. That's his idea of his own character, and he went through years of putting in a lot of work into it. And I think he earns it. He did earn it, and then he does deserve it. Just because, how do you go from anybody would have cracked under all the crap that he got when he transitioned into Bray Wyatt? I mean, fans were calling him Husky Harris all the time.
Right, when he first came back. Now, for those of you who are new listeners, Red and I have gone back and forth on this before because I've had an issue when the crowd is really excited and someone gets a belt or they get some opportunity that the crowd chants, "You deserve it." And I want them to chant, "You earned it." Just for kayfabe reasons, it doesn't matter if you deserve a title in pro wrestling. You earn it by beating someone. So in a world where it's supposed to be based on that, not, you're a good employee, you made a good character, and you helped make us money, so here's your belt. It's, no, you're the best wrestler, so here's your belt because you earned it. So the thing is, Cena came out and he told Bray that he must have brainwashed the whole crowd because the crowd was cheering for him. And they were cheering, "You deserve it," since he's the new WWE champion. And I hate agreeing with Cena. So I texted you right away because it bugged me so much that him and I agree on this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that he has the belt on him and everything. So I'm happy about that. Like I said, I stand by what I said about the whole deserve it and earn it.
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I didn't understand Cena's thing about him saying that he didn't earn it. I mean, he went through the whole elimination chamber. He won. It's like, you got pinned. You were eliminated.
No, that's why I wish they chanted, "You earned it," because I don't yes, he did.
It's like, Cena, you gotta calm down. You're saying that he didn't earn it, but he was the last man standing.
That's Cena when he doesn't really fully put over people.
That's Cena's. Hey, that shovel looks good over there.
Well, he did learn a lot from Triple H, but AJ Styles came out interrupting these two talking, and AJ came out and he wanted his one-on-one rematch tonight against Bray Wyatt, trying to jump over John Cena. So I would have rather have seen that match because I like AJ more, and I want AJ to win. Huge AJ Styles mark. But so the three of them go back and forth shouting until SmackDown GM Daniel Bryan comes out. Or is he the GM or what is he called?
He's the general manager.
So what's Shane?
Shane McMahon is basically he's basically running the show.
Does he have a title?
I don't think he has a title. I think he's just the boss of SmackDown. Same with like
Okay.
Stephanie McMahon. She's the boss of Raw.
Okay, so yeah, Daniel Bryan comes out and makes a three-way match for later tonight. So the main event now, instead of being Bray Wyatt versus John Cena, is now Bray Wyatt versus John Cena versus AJ Styles. So that was a very exciting way to kick off SmackDown.
It was, and I was excited for the main event. These guys can all go. But before we get to that one, let's go through the rest of the card of what happened.
So we come back to our first match, and it's American Alpha, the current SmackDown Tag Team Champions, took on the Ascension, and this was a very good in-ring match. I had spoken to you that I like how, at least graphically, when the Ascension came out, they had a graphic saying that they are the longest NXT Tag Team Champions. So, if this was your first SmackDown watching in a while, because it's WrestleMania hype season, this show was built very well.
It is built very well, and American Alpha always impressive what they can do in the ring. The Ascension, I think they're finally giving them time to show that they can go in the ring, and these guys had a pretty good match back and forth. A lot of near falls. People were into it. People were popping. American Alpha champions. They got the W on this one.
Very impressive match in ring from both members of American Alpha. They're mat based or just Greco-Roman style wrestling is very impressive. So I'm happy that they won. I'm happy that they got brought up from NXT, and it was a good match for them. And so jumping to WrestleMania, what do you think is going to happen for the tag team match?
I'm not really sure where they're gonna go. Who if they're gonna go with the singles, not singles, but basic tag team match, two teams against each other. And I wouldn't know at this. I think they're probably gonna set up probably the Usos, because the Usos did after the match have that whole thing about we injured you guys and stuff like that. And I think that's probably where they're gonna go with the whole thing, is the American Alpha versus the Usos for the WWE Smackdown Tag Team Championships.
That'd probably be a good match. So after that match, there was a quick backstage segment with Carmella and James Ellsworth. While they're talking, Dean Ambrose came by looking for Corbin. We didn't mention, but in the beginning of the show, they briefly showed Dean Ambrose screaming for Corbin also. So he's been going around backstage looking for Corbin, and Carmella insults Dean, and then James Ellsworth has to kind of step up and defend Carmella, because that's what he does now. So he pissed off Dean, and then Daniel Bryan happened to just be walking by, gets involved, and makes a match where it's Dean versus James Ellsworth next. And I don't know. I like Daniel Bryan, but I don't like here. It's kind of a jerk move. I get that James, that he's a bad guy, but Daniel Bryan literally told Dean that this is to help you calm down. So he kind of just offered another star to a bigger star, be like, here, just have this.
Well,
and calm down.
Well, it's because of what's his name? James Ellsworth was the one that helped AJ Styles win the WWE title in that ladder match for the WWE title, and he was the main one that made Dean Ambrose go outside into the ladder that was set up horizontally, and I think that's where they were going all the way back to that.
Then I credit them for paying attention to their own history.
But I don't know. James Ellsworth had his 15 minutes of fame, I think, with the whole thing, and now he's getting led all over the place with Carmella.
Yeah, his placement in the card is where it should be right now. So, but at least the guy got a job that probably he'd never expected to have.
But other than
But
that,
this went to commercial break, and when we came back, um, Carmella and James Ellsworth were in the middle of the ring, and then Dean Ambrose's music hits, and he doesn't come out right away, and that draws attention to the entrance, and then instead of Dean coming out, it's Baron Corbin is dragging uh, Dean Ambrose. I guess he found him backstage, he beat him up, and he's dragging him in front of everyone to beat him up some more.
I think this sets up. I think this sets up a WrestleMania match. Remember, we were talking about they didn't have nothing for Dean Ambrose because he's Intercontinental Champion, and I think this sets up Baron Corbin versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title. Maybe we'll see Baron Corbin finally get some gold around his waist.
Maybe so they brawl on the side of the Titantron, and then Baron Corbin hits his Deep Six finisher on Dean, but he puts him through some type of table that's near wirings or whatever. But there's a bunch of sparks that go all over the place, so they're clearly building this feud up now.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. It's very fresh.
So that was followed by another Elimination Chamber recap, but this is where I guess post match, Natalya attacked Nikki Bella.
Oh god.
And so this is when they replayed the part that this brawl led to Maurice, who was also in the background, getting powder and makeup thrown on her. So I think they're building to that Cena, Nikki versus Miz and Maurice match. And Cena's gonna get down on one knee and propose, and Total Bellas is gonna be so happy. And
a waste of time.
Her engagement ring's gonna be a WWE title. You'll see.
It's a waste of time.
I think that's the moment. That's the visual they want. She has a little title that she'll wear on her ring finger going forward.
This Natalya and Nikki Bella feud is just a waste of time. This whole put Cena in a better match at WrestleMania. This is just stupid, and I don't care if it's aimed to the female audience of whoever watch, even male people who watch. I mean, if you're a male and you're watching Total Divas, something's wrong with you. And
maybe they just like
this is
reality television.
The whole thing is just dumb, and to tie in what's going on in the show with the whole reality thing is like Total Bellas, Total Divas, total waste of time in my opinion. This whole thing is just a total waste of time.
I like that one.
But I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm just not. I've not been interested in this the whole time, and I'm not interested in it going forward.
Well, that whole recap was just to lead to another backstage segment where Nikki and Natalya yelled, and they start brawling, and then Daniel Bryan sets up a match for next week's SmackDown.
Yeah, another going to go take a piss break match.
Well, for some of those audience members that plan to stay there for more than 3 hours, you got to build that in.
It's just dumb.
All right, well, here's something else that I thought was dumb after. Another backstage segment. This time it was Renee Young was interviewing Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph Ziggler's whole reason there was to cut a promo on how, I guess he's kind of maybe hinting that he's like a gatekeeper, and he sees all this young talent coming in, which I guess would be Apollo Crews and Kalisto. And he feels like they're coming after his spot on the show, but he steals the show, so he's going to keep stealing his show and his spot from the younger people.
Well, he's just in this attitude like, you know what? Everybody used their shovel on me, so it's my time to get my own shovel and use it on people who are trying to take my spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of not invested in Dolph Ziggler anymore. Like, he had his moments, but I was hoping, what was it, a year ago or so, when his contract was coming up, that he would, go on the indies, go to maybe Japan, but England, maybe pop up here and there, maybe a Ring of Honor show, get out there, try to get his name out there like Cody Rhodes is doing right now. But instead, he chose to stick with WWE, and that makes sense. He's making a lot of money, and he'll probably always be known as a good hand. It's just when he decided to stick with WWE, and I think all of us knew that meant that he would continue being treated the way he has, that why should I care? you don't care either, like as a performer. So I stopped caring as a fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I Ziggler, he's a good in ring worker and everything, but
No doubt.
his it's just the position that they put him in and everything is just not working out, and I don't think it's worked out for the last few years for him. So he's still in this position. So if they let him get out of this and do something else, but he's in the position that he's at right now, and that's what we have to see for the next coming months, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, for me, this was a low. It was at least followed by a very big high for in SmackDown for tonight. And it was Becky Lynch took on Mickie James. I thought this was a very good match, and this is the first time I actually got to see Mickie James since she came back. So I was excited. I was very excited watching this SmackDown. It was, you know, it was a hype. It was a hype show for me, and it didn't lose my attention. It's well worth my 2 hours, and I prefer a SmackDown over a 3-hour Raw.
Right. But I agree with you. It was a very good match, and I liked it. It was probably maybe on par with their Elimination Chamber match, maybe a little bit better, but I think you got your Valentine's Day gift with Mickie James being on free TV.
Free TV, and she got a win over Becky Lynch. And like for me, watching the match, what was really good is that they like to compare Mickie James and Becky to just a few years ago with the whole Divas division, is that these two women are real professional wrestlers and they're not trying to have a fight like some other people did. Like, I don't know. I think maybe that's an attack on Kelly.
This is
with
actually
rumors that she might be coming back.
This is actually a feud of wrestling related stuff, not something that's total wasteful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. And like in ring wise, what I liked is how they moved around the ring. They went to the outside. They got the crowd really involved. The crowd already when Becky came out, she's over. People love her entrance and they sing along to it. So throughout the match, the crowd kept getting more into it, and you hear them chanting and they're getting behind Becky, and then unfortunately, Mickie James then fakes an injury. She plays possum, saying that she separated her shoulder or something. So that goats Becky to come close to her, and then Mickie hits her with a mick kick for the win. And I was happy I got to see Mickie win, but I was like, oh yeah, you're the veteran, but just beat her 1, 2, 3. Don't be a heel.
He's in love.
I'm in love. What's Magnus gonna do about that?
Probably nothing. I mean, I don't even know who's wrestling for anything.
Well, I think he's still the GWF World Champion. Maybe.
Is that still going?
Maybe.
I don't know. Well,
I think if I Google that right now, it would say maybe.
But it was a very good match, and it puts the whole Mickie James veteran of, hey, let me do this, but I can totally get you off your guard, and kicked her right in the side of the face, pinned her 1, 2, 3. I'm okay with it. It was a good match. It was a good physical match, and I'm okay with the outcome of it.
Well, what also I like about it is at least this builds to a future match where now Becky will not fall for something like this. So
No.
Becky will probably get, as the matches go on, they'll probably get more intense.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll get more intense, and I think it'll get more physical, and these guys are just gonna build more heat onto each other.
All right, so the next segment was Naomi was in the ring with Renee Young, and they were talking about her victory at Elimination Chamber, and now she is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. But apparently she got hurt. Do you recall at any point seeing a moment where she could have gotten injured?
Actually, I don't. The whole match was actually pretty good at Elimination Chamber. That I didn't even notice that she was limping around or anything. I don't think she was at all. I don't think, but maybe it's one of those things to where you're running on adrenaline and you don't really feel it.
Right.
That's
what she hinted in her promo.
Yeah, and so
she was wearing a brace on her left knee, I believe. So,
yeah.
But I haven't heard anything on the internet.
Well, this is also what the crowd's saying. You deserve it.
Yeah, and it bugged me too, but I wasn't as passionate for it.
But Alexa Bliss came out, and I really like Alexa Bliss's character, and this is a heel. This is she plays a very good heel, and this is not just like her trying to get heat on herself. She plays a heel to her own character of, hey, you know what? Everybody's expecting me to be a total bitch, so hey, that's what I'm gonna do.
She definitely is. Throughout her promo, you heard people in the audience yelling at her, and at one point she even she puts the mic down a little bit, but she yells "shut up" to someone, but the mic still picked it up.
Yeah, and I really like her character of how she when like how she was towards Naomi. The way she speaks on the mic about like I'm gonna do this to you and this to you. It's nothing like Natalia's. I feel like is trying so hard to be a heel and trying to get heat and stuff like that that she has to bring in John Cena this and John Cena. Bliss does total opposite. She plays with her own character of how her own attitude should be. She's like, I'm gonna take your title and I'm gonna make you feel bad for it, and I'm not gonna care because I should be champion and you are lower than me. You know?
I really like this Alexa Bliss character now. Um, I guess the only bad thing is maybe she's a little small to talk so much trash, but I guess she has backed it up.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I seen her develop that attitude in NXT, and it's good that they let her bring it over from NXT into the main roster.
Yeah, so I guess this leads to probably a WrestleMania match where Naomi will go in as the current SmackDown Women's Champion. She'll defend her title probably against Alexa Bliss in her hometown. So, you know, we're far out, but who do you think would win that match if that's the match that happens?
Got to pander to the hometown crowd, so I'm guessing Naomi. But if it was my choice, I would say put the title back on Alexa Bliss. It's always fun to watch a heel champion and someone trying to strive for to go who's gonna beat her. Like it's gonna be one of those things to like. It doesn't matter if you're a male wrestler or a female wrestler. If you're a heel, it's always that excitement of like who's gonna beat this person. They keep talking, they keep backing it up. So who's gonna beat
Oh,
them? You know?
I just want to see at WrestleMania Alexa Bliss win and then do that cry face to everybody in the hometown.
Oh,
Oh,
that would give her major heat, and it'll be excellent. It will.
that's my WrestleMania moment. All right, so now here comes the main event. Um, before we even go into it, SmackDown was hyped yesterday on Raw that it would be main evented by Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in a rematch for the title. So before the match got changed, I was already looking forward to a singles match.
Right.
Now, because of the way the show started, AJ got himself involved, so it only made this better.
Right. And they had the entrances of John Cena come out, and he's got his whole entrance of everyone singing John Cena sucks. AJ Styles came out with his entrance. Bray Wyatt came out with his entrance. Lights came back on, and he wasn't expecting Luke Harper to just be standing there watching him. It's kind of freaky when someone's just standing there watching you when lights come on. It's like one of your kids when you're sleeping. One of your kids is just like standing there right next to your bed, and you wake up and you're like, "What are you doing?" But
At least I'm not talking about Sister Abigail.
but how'd you feel about the whole main event itself?
Three very good workers, so we got a very good match out of it, and clearly everyone here is used to working with each other. Um, in ring wise, the storytelling was very tough. You know, they were fighting for a championship.
Yeah.
AJ wanted to be a two-time champion. I guess I think his first run shouldn't have ended. Cena's 16th run was very short, and he tied Ric Flair. It didn't really feel like anything, and now he could beat Ric Flair's record on a random SmackDown, which just seems weird. So I didn't think he would win. And Bray Wyatt now has to defend his championship after everyone thought this day wouldn't actually come. So storytelling was a little weird because I still want AJ to win, but I would have been fine if AJ won. Not if Cena won, but I thought that Bray would win.
Yeah. Well, I really like Cena and Bray Wyatt. They wrestled before. They've been in a feud before, and they can go with each other. Um, you never really seen Bray Wyatt versus AJ Styles, but when those two get in the ring, they work really well together. And the whole talent of Styles, Bray Wyatt, and Cena, they mesh well with each other. There was no how people they have a hard time when it's like a three-way, like someone misses their spots or something like that. But these guys all worked well with each other, and with Wyatt on the table, with AJ Styles jumping off the barricade and then break. So one more time, why not? So did that.
That was crazy how loud the crowd was chanting.
Yeah, and so I think Styles is like, yeah, why not? So we'll just do a flying leg drop off the barricade.
I like little impromptu moments in matches like that.
Yeah, and these guys all worked well with each other, and Styles going for his phenomenal forearm, but once he got on the top rope, standing up there, Bray Wyatt pushed Cena into the ropes. Cena turned around, and Bray Wyatt quickly, Sister Abigail, pinned Cena to win back his title. So I think it proves that Bray Wyatt can go with these two. He can be in this main event picture, and he can go with the two biggest guys on SmackDown. And they need another guy to show that they can go,
Yeah, and Bray Wyatt has, he should have been in this spot. He should have been the cemented main eventer, a while ago, but at least they're finally doing it now. Yeah, I mean, again, I would have loved to see AJ win, but he didn't. But this all makes sense for WrestleMania because, after the match, Randy Orton's music hits. So Randy Orton, the number one contender because he won the Royal Rumble, he comes out, and I didn't know what they were going to do here. So, I mean, I'm expecting Randy Orton just to attack Bray, go for the title and be all in on that, but instead he comes out and he reconfirms his dedication to Bray, saying that even though he won the Royal Rumble and he's entitled to everything that comes with that, he will not attack his master. And part of me was hoping at this moment Bray would say, like, no, it's a test. You have to go against me. And I thought I was hoping that like this feud was based off of its master and protege, but the master has told the protege, bring it, because this is your final test. You have to win, and if you don't, then like maybe you're not worthy, or this was all for naught, or I don't know. I was hoping for that, but instead, Bray laughs and he just accepts it. I think he tells Orton, "You now have the keys to the gate." But what's the phrase? I forget. Keys to the kingdom.
There you go.
Yeah. So Bray poses and Randy Orton poses behind. They get that angle with the WrestleMania logo in the background, but it's confusing because if you take this at face value, what goes on at Mania now?
It's with Randy Orton. You gotta be very careful. Randy Orton's a veteran, and he'll turn at you anytime. So I think this is just mind games from Randy Orton, saying that. Yeah,
but
so
taking it at face value, what does this mean?
the whole thing with Orton, I think he's trying to make Bray Wyatt seem like, yeah, okay, I'm dedicated to you, but still, the whole moniker of Randy Orton being the Snake, as he wants to be known as, he can strike at you anytime. A snake can take it. A snake doesn't really. Sometimes it doesn't have to go at you, right away, but he'll bide his time, and I think that's what he's doing. He's biding his time. He'll eventually get one over on Wyatt when he's not looking, and that's when the whole moniker of RKO out of nowhere.
So Luke Harper is ultimately going to be in the right here.
Yeah, I think Luke Harper is going to be like, you know what? I told you so. I told you so. You didn't believe me. You beat me up. I told you so. I kicked you in the head a few times trying to make you figure it out, but hey, good luck to you. Good luck to you and your title at WrestleMania.
So that ends SmackDown. I thought it was a good show. I mean, this whole time I pretty much kept saying that.
It was a good show, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a good follow up with the main event. Elimination Chamber was a very good show. Raw tried to, they had a very good show in some parts as well, and I think they're trying to outdo what happened on Elimination Chamber with this whole main event between Styles, Cena, and Wyatt. They try to outdo the whole Bailey and Charlotte match. So it's for any wrestling fan, it's been a good 3 days so far, and I really enjoyed these last 3 days of watching WWE TV.
Yeah, so have I. The past 3 days have been real good as a wrestling fan. Even someone for me who doesn't watch every single moment, the things I have seen have been very good. So I'm glad. I've enjoyed myself. So
All
if you guys like what you've heard, please press that like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment on your thoughts about tonight's show or any of the wrestling that's happened the past few days.
All right. So we'll see you guys all next time.
Later.